Hi, I'm GW Boles from IRT Deadliest Roads, Andes, and you're watching this on Sky Guide. Truck driver gets pulled over by a cop. Cop walks up to the truck and says, "Do you know you're speeding?" He looks over at the cop and goes, "I've got a truckload full of dead bodies and a .45 caliber gun in the cab." So the cop zips back off to his car and calls in for backup and goes, "Oh, I've got a hostage situation here. I've got bodies. I've got a gun. I need help." So they call out the SWAT team and the helicopter and all the supervisors and stuff, and they all gather around the truck, and the supervisor gets on the bullhorn and goes, "We need you to get out of the car." And the guy gets out of his truck and climbs on down, and he's like, "What's the problem?" They go, "Oh." He goes, "The officer told us that you had a gun and a bunch of bodies." And the driver looks at him and goes, "I bet you told you I was speeding too."
Don't kill me today.
I'll never kill you. The only thing I'll kill you with is laughter.
Before I drove the show, I do over-the-road trucking, and I'm also a stand-up comic. So a little combination or two there. Years ago, I worked for a company called Waste Management, and the most unusual cargo I had to haul was when I used to have to take medical waste from the hospital to the incinerator, and there were sometimes pieces of bodies and stuff in there, and then we would have to unload them by hand sometimes or with a box. And so sometimes, like if one of the boxes had been damaged, you could look in there and there was like a foot or something, you know. When it actually comes from miles for miles, day for day, I probably have over 1 million logged miles in my life since I was like 16 years old. 20 years of driving, almost.
This kicks ass!
I started trucking because both my parents were cops and I like to run away from home. And I figured as long as I ran away from home, I might as well get paid for it. Because I'm also a big biker too, you know, and just like I said, I love to travel. I love to see the countryside. And it got to a point where, you know, you can be a big biker, but if you're trying to be like a good guy like I am, you know, you can't do the other biker stuff and travel. So I got behind the wheel of a truck, and it turns out I could see just as many miles and just as much of the country as I could on my motorcycle and get paid for it. And so it was an instant match. Well, I was discovered originally by a man by the name of Adam Martin, who was the original field producer for Ice Road Truckers. And he since left that and moved on to produce a show that I auditioned for called Hairy Bikers. And I met, while I was auditioning for it, some of the people from history, and I did not get selected for Hairy Bikers America. But when they met me, they were like, "Wow, you're kind of cool." They said, "If you had a CDL, we would try to get you on one of our trucking shows." And I popped up my license. I said, "I've been driving since '96. Let's do this." And they were like, "Yes." And by the time that happened was about a week before Dave and Rick quit on Deadliest Roads. So it was about a week's transition time, and they immediately said, "Hey, would you go to South America?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do this. Send me a plane ticket." And then I know about 2 days after that, they were like, "Look, we need you to go get immunized or whatever and shots." And I got about 20 shots in a 24-hour time period, and you know, flash a couple hours by later in some new clothes, I was down in South America driving, and that was about it.